Okay, so here we are with Linda Miner, and she is our One Peak specialist in the area of EFT. And EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Technique. And I love talking with Linda, well, besides the fact that she's my sister-in-law and I adore her. She and I have worked together for many, many years. In my previous practice, the Ventana Wellness, she worked with our patients in the area of weight management and clearing a lot of emotional baggage that has to do with your inability to get weight off your body, and was super effective in that area. And now she's working with our One Peak medical clinics and providing emotional support to our employees and practitioners as it pertains to, you know, having ongoing issues with anxiety, maybe a history of feeling a sense of fear towards certain things, or discouragement, resentment, anger, whatever it might be. And because we do know that when we have those emotions that feel like they're stuck and you can't seem to move them out to make progress, what happens is that you end up kind of going down a path in your life that you probably weren't meant to go down. So today I want to talk to Linda and you all about why it's so important to kind of get into a rhythm of figuring out how you can start clearing emotional, what Linda calls as emotional clutter. So first I want to define what emotional clutter is. So tell me how you see that showing up in people that you treat with EFT that you would define as emotional clutter. It's kind of, you don't even know where to begin, do you? No. She's like, where do I start? So emotional clutter.
Yeah, emotional clutter, I think, is when we have, so it can be physical, right? Too much stuff. An area of our house that has too much stuff in it, and we just feel overwhelmed even thinking about clearing that out.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, and it is emotional, right?
So, you know, they've actually done research on that if you're working, even your work setting, because so many people work at home now.
Yes.
Even if your work setting has too much clutter in it, it actually causes anxiety.
Yes.
And disorganization.
Right. And not having enough space, right? Even with kids homeschooling, and now you're working from home, and, you know, partners working from home. So, yeah, that can really become emotional clutter and overwhelm for us. But we can have relationship clutter. Sometimes that can be our kids, right? There's just so much going on with kids. Just being a parent and emotionally tied to our kids in that way, all that they're doing, all that we need to do.
So so I want to stop you, because I could relate to that on some levels. I mean, like, what mother or even anyone in a relationship, any kind of relationship, can't relate to that when the relationship starts having a lot of different issues? That feels like a relationship clutter.
Right, and it's those things we're not addressing. Right? And they're starting to pile up. So it can be with the kids, it could be a relationship with somebody else. And what happens is we become overwhelmed. So the other thing is work. Too much work, right? We spend a lot of hours at work. We have to be busy. So it could be busy with work stuff, career stuff. It could be busy just in general in our life, right? Because we have, for some of us, a belief that if we're busy, if we're always doing something, then we have value.
Right.
We have importance.
Right.
So we can't stop doing that. Or we could very well be, I'll term them people pleasers. We don't say no when we want to. Instead, we're constantly saying yes to things. And we're filling up our plate, and all of a sudden we just are, again, it's that clutter, right? It's too much, and we know it's too much.
I think it's interesting, though, you know, we've done several podcasts now on the problem that people have with just feeling this sense of overwhelm, or this sense of like underlying anxiety.
Right.
And they actually think there's something chemically or physically or emotionally wrong with them that they need to go on a medication. And while there might be some people that need to do that, I think it's interesting that probably it's something that's showing up in their life that they're not addressing. It could be something very simple, like you said, physical clutter, excessive physical clutter, working too many hours and not working your body and getting outside and have that imbalance between your brain and your body.
Right.
Too much. How about social media clutter?
Oh my gosh, so that's a huge one. And of course, now there's so many studies coming out, right? How
or news clutter. Social media and news clutter.
Yes. Yes.
Bad news clutter.
Right?
I'm fireballing right now.
And we're doing it all at the same time. So I've got the TV on, I'm checking my emails on my phone, I've got my laptop over here, and we're doing all of it at the same time. And we don't realize that it does, right? Is that too much?
Right.
Right? And sometimes you might hear yourself saying, I don't have time for myself. I have too many things to do. I can't possibly go do something for myself. I don't have time to exercise. I don't have time to go plan and prepare my meals to eat healthy. I don't have time. There's too much.
So when you have all this clutter, and maybe you only have one or two of those things going on, but if you have excessive, what you're calling is emotional clutter in your life, would you say that then the physical ramifications of that could be fatigue, anxiety, issues with not being able to make a decision, moving forward, not being able to move forward?
Yeah, not sleeping well, waking up in the middle of the night with the mind going crazy. So I do think all of that ties to this feeling of overwhelm, even if we don't recognize it or call it that. And when we're overwhelmed in our bodies, in our mind, we are less effective. We aren't efficient. We aren't creative because we are really in a fight or flight. Right? It's like there's a perceived threat, danger, and the whole body is in its fight or flight mode.
And when your body's in a fight or flight mode, you're taking all of the energy that you would normally have for recovery or rejuvenation and being able to calm your mind and keep your mind clear. We're taking all that physical energy and when we're moving it towards our organs that will keep us, basically it's kind of similar to like running from a tiger saving our life. And that's all good and well, but the problem is if we stay in that state all the time, we feel exhausted because you can't do that forever. You can't have that much adrenaline or cortisol being pumped through your system because eventually your body's going to say, no more, you're done. So then you get even more fatigued and have more insomnia and more issues of wakefulness at night. So that's a good thing to say about the fight or flight, because a lot of people don't recognize it as that, and then they don't correlate it with how they feel. And then the other thing is then it drops your blood sugar, and then all of a sudden you're eating all these sugary comfort foods because not only are you exhausted and emotionally spent, now the only way that you're going to fix it is you're going to start eating more sugar or more alcohol, or you can't quit smoking. I mean, whatever vice you have, you're going to keep doing it because it temporarily makes you feel better.
Right, because we're always looking for some relief, right? Well, and here's the crazy thing. Overwhelm creates more overwhelm, right? So it's this crazy spinning cycle, million thoughts going through our head. We can't think clearly. So we actually, when we are in overwhelm, we can't think our way out of it. It's not a logical thinking, because that's what's happening is not in the frontal lobe. It's happening in the center brain, the limbic symptom, right? So that's that fight or flight response.
Flight or flight.
Right. So we stay in that, right? And so there's a lot of, so we're talking about EFT, and what can we do when we start to feel that overwhelm?
Right.
And how we feel it is different for everybody. But again, if you're looking and you're thinking, I'm stuck in this, I can't seem to work less hours. Like I really want to work less hours, but it never happens.
Right. Or you're just feeling so bad that you don't know what to do to feel better. Like you don't know how to snap out of it. Like, how do I stop this?
And
like, I need to
that's it.
stop this feeling.
Yes, we get stuck in it,
Right.
right? And the cycle just continues.
Yeah, so I think it's really good right now that now that we've defined the problem, I think we should give our listeners what is a quick, easy way that they maybe could do something to snap them out of it.
Right, so we're gonna just do a quick breathe tap sequence. It's called the traffic light sequence. Gwyneth Moss out of the UK came up with this. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, it's taken over, what we're going to do is we're going to give that intensity a color the same as traffic light. So green, yellow, red. So if you're...
But before we do that, we should also tell everybody what is tapping. What does tapping do? Because I think, if we start doing tapping, you're like, what is she doing? Right. I think we should say, what is tapping?
So tapping or emotional freedom techniques is a simple, quick, easy self-help tool to manage stress or to reduce stress. And what we're going to do is we tap with our fingertips, so we literally have a self-help tool at our fingertips. I didn't come up with that. But anyway, we're going to tap on acupressure points closest to the surface, same that an acupuncturist would use. It's based on the Chinese meridian system. And what happens is with the tapping, you don't need any words. It sends a soothing signal to the amygdala, or that center limbic system, to calm the nervous system.
It really does work.
It really does work.
I've done it. It works.
It really does work. And with this demonstration, we're not going to use any words. And the reason for that is because when we're feeling stressed, so in the form of that overwhelm, we're already tuned in. We're tuned in so much we cannot tune it out, right?
Right.
So all we want to do is start calming our system so that we can think more clearly. That creative part of us opens up and is on. We can think creatively. What else? Okay,
so that's what EFT is. And so if you're feeling this this clutter that's going on, where you're feeling stuck, like this overwhelm, whatever the overwhelm is, we've mentioned many of them. What could somebody do right away with this tapping that could help them move through that? The green light. Let's do the green, red light.
We're just going to give whatever sensation we have a color. So if it's a green light, we're calm. We might have a tiny bit of sensation, but really nothing to speak of. We're good to go. Yellow, right? We're starting to feel, however it shows up for us. It might be upset stomach. We might feel a little constricted breathing. Tightness in our shoulders, our neck. And so we're going to start breathing and tapping then. Red light, stop everything you're doing. Stop what you're doing. Go find a quiet place and, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, do this exercise.
Okay.
Okay?
So let's do it.
Okay. So
I'm feeling anxious. I can't get it together.
So I
have too many emotions. There's too many deadlines that are coming, and it's Monday, and Monday's my worst day. It has always been my worst day. I keep saying, when I come back in my next life, I'm not going to work Mondays, but why don't I just do that now? Mondays are so hard because it's like the week. Okay, I have way more to do than I'm going to be able to get done. I don't know why I do this to myself every single week. So let's just use Mondays. I'm feeling overwhelmed. My task list is too long, which is, just stuff I put on myself that's unnecessary. But anyway, let's just say that's what it is. And you also realize, okay, I got to start my diet over on Monday because I really blew it on the weekend. So now I'm like kind of overwhelmed that I'm kind of mad at myself that I just ate too much on the weekend and allowed myself too many niceties when it comes to food. And now I'm feeling a little pudgy. And so I've got that going on, and I've got too many things to do during my week. And I know I only have 5 days to do it, but maybe I only have 4 days to do it because I'm going to leave town on the night, on the next Friday. I don't know what it is. And then I've got all these extra appointments going on. So let's just say there's like serious overwhelm. And then my mother dropped a bomb on me that says that she's got to talk to me about something. And so then I've got that percolating in the background, some emotional stuff, right? I'm making all this stuff up, but it actually is somewhat reality. But go ahead. Okay, that's the problem. That's my problem.
Right. So when we have so much of that happening, right, we have physical sensations that go along with it. So Nisha, I'm just going to ask you to, and everybody else, notice where you feel overwhelmed in your body. Just notice where that's at for you, okay? And then give it a color.
Okay. I always feel it in my gut.
Yeah.
Always in my gut.
Yeah, and it can be different for everybody. So just notice where
Or
you feel
or the back,
overwhelmed.
or the back of my, right behind my, in my the back of my shoulders. You know, almost like somebody is like grabbing them. That's when I know it's like a red. Is when it feels like I have muscle spasms like back here.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Right. So we're gonna now we're just going to take a nice deep breath in, and we're gonna slowly exhale. We're going to take another deep breath in. Slowly exhale.
Now, should I be breathing in through my nose and out through my mouth, or does it even matter?
I do like to breathe in through my nose, exhaling through my mouth, but please don't get hung up on any of that.
No hard, fast rules on breathing. Okay.
No.
I'm going to do another one.
Okay, deep breath in. Exhale. And now, Nisha, we're going to begin tapping. So we're going to tap right where the eyebrows begin. Two fingertips. Nice. Tapping right here. We're not going to say anything. Don't need to say anything. Now we're going to go to the outer corner of the eyes, right where the temples are. We're going to go under the eyes. We're now going to go under the nose. Under the lip, right in the crease. And we're going to go to the collarbone point, so just where the knobs are, about 1/2 inch down. We're going to go under the arm, women, right where the bra strap crosses the rib. Men, about 3 inches below your armpit. We're going to come back to the collarbone point.
Oh, I'm hitting my microphone.
Yeah. And now we're going to take a deep breath in and exhale. Deep breath in and exhale. One more deep breath in and exhale. And then we would go through another round of tapping, and then one more time with those 3 deep breaths. So it's breathe, tap, tap. And again, no words. So how are you feeling?
I feel great.
And that's what I would ask right after doing that, is just notice now, where's the color? What color is it now? If it's yellow, do another round. Red, do another round. Again, we want to start to feel calmer. We may not at that moment be able to get down to a 0 or a 1, right, on a 0 to 10 scale. What we want to do is feel calmer.
Right.
Okay?
Because when you feel calm, you know, this is, I always think this is kind of like, I mean, this sounds silly, but this is kind of like, you know, when you lose your car keys or your phone, which I do every single day. I lose my car keys and then I run around because I'm already late, right? So I run around. Anyone that's ever been around me knows that I lose my phone every single morning. You think that I would actually fix this, but you know, I love the anxiety, right? So I run around the house trying to find my darn phone, and all I have to do is just stop and relax, and then I know exactly where my phone is. So isn't that interesting? Because people say that all the time. If I would just stop and relax, it'll come to me. Right. But that's all about clearing, sort of clearing your space. And that's what this does, is it gives you a little bit of a margin between your feeling of anxiety or overwhelm and where you need to find the answers. It gives you that margin, that space that you need to get into, so it stops this clutter in your brain that's jamming you up. It gives you that space so that you can get into that area where you can find the answers that you need. And it's amazing because some of the answers are, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
Right.
Whatever I'm stressed about actually probably is not even going to happen.
No, there isn't. And if we have a pattern of overwhelm and clutter, whether it's physical, emotional, relationship, there's a reason for it. We're just not aware of it, and
Right.
that's why we like EFT, because it begins to help us become aware of why this might be happening.
So instead of trying to have the mindset, I just need to stop this from happening, you're saying the EFT allows you to get to a place where you can start recognizing, why is it happening, instead of just trying to make it stop.
Right. If we have a pattern, right, of
Right.
overwhelm and right. So again, going back to I can't say no. Well, there's a reason behind I can't say no. It could be they might reject me. I'm supposed to always say yes.
Right.
I'm that person in my family. I'm the go-to. Or, it could be anything, but we're not consciously aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
It has some history, right? That's
Yes,
buried in
connection.
the subconscious. Or if we were to look at a relationship that had some energetic clutter to it, we keep ourselves very, very busy because we don't want to go and deal with that.
Right.
Right? That doesn't feel safe to do, or I might have to change.
Right.
And that is a natural.
Or I might find the answer to why I'm feeling this way, and I don't really want to find the answer, because that means
Right.
I'm going to have to deal with it.
And that's okay. But if we're wanting to make changes and feel better,
Yes.
age better, be healthier, sleep better, eat better, it's good to get under these things, find out what is the core issue here, and then we can decide.
All right. So tapping, stop yourself if you're starting to get a yellow light, things are starting to feel a little anxious. Maybe you've read one too many emails that are just putting you right over the edge, or whatever it might be. Thinking about all the emotional problems you're having to deal with, or just not knowing about the future. Whatever it is that's spinning you and keeping you stuck, this is a very simple exercise. Again, let's just go over the points really quick. Tapping on your...
So where the eyebrows start.
Where the eyebrows start, and then the
Outer.
outer parts of the eyebrows, and then
Under.
right under the eyes, and then right under the nose, and then right under the lips, and then the collarbone, and then the armpit.
And then I like to go back to the collarbone.
Back to the collarbone. And then breathing before, breathing after, doing 2 sets. Now that's quick, right? That's like,
Really
that's
quick.
we're talking a couple minutes, okay?
Right.
So it's faster than you can get to Facebook and look at the next thing that somebody said. This is way better to do. So anyway, thank you for joining me and Linda today. It was great chatting with you about what you can do to stop emotional overwhelm. You can go to my website, nishajackson.com. And Linda is part of our One Peak Medical practice, so you can go to onepeakmedical.com and learn more information about Linda and how you might be able to set up a private appointment with her. And again, Linda, thank you for that information, and stay well and stay uncluttered. All right, have a great day.